ओके, सो नया वीडियो वोकेबलरी सीरीज से थोड़ा हटके है। दो हम सीखने वाले वोकेबलरी ही है। तो देखिए, हम लोग बहुत ये वर्ड यूज़ करते हैं वेरी, एंड देन वी यूज़ अ कॉमन वर्ड जो हमें पता है ना। सो फॉर एग्जांपल वेरी, वेरी लेजी। अब हमारे पास एक लिस्ट है, और obvious सी बात है, अगर आप ये वर्ड्स यूज़ करेंगे तो आप और मोर बेटर आर्टिकुलेट कर पाएंगे, अच्छे साउंड करेंगे। लगेगा कि आपको और बेटर आता है ना, एटलीस्ट इंग्लिश है ना, आप अच्छे से अपने व्यूज़ कन्वे कर पाएंगे। अच्छे वर्ड्स हैं, इंस्टेड ऑफ यूजिंग टू वर्ड्स क्यों ना आप एक नया वर्ड सीख लें। सो लेट स्टार्ट। हमारे पास पहला वर्ड है वेरी लीजी, है ना। सो हमारे फर्स्ट जो वर्ड है वो है वेरी लीजी, इनडोलेंट, है ना। इनडोलेंट वर्ड है। ये सेकंड वर्ड आप लोगों ने ऑलरेडी कर रखा होगा, वेरी फैट, इट्स ओबीस। ओबिसिटी से परेशान लोग, है ना, जो मोटापे से परेशान है, दैट्स ओबिसिटी। सो ओबीस इज़ वेरी फैट। देन वी हैव वेरी अफ्रेड, अगर आप बहुत डरे हुए हैं। सो टेरिफाइड, है ना, टेरिफाइड, या बहुत डरे हुए हैं। देन वेरी एक्यूरेट, कि बहुत पूरा प्रिसाइज, यू नो, एग्जैक्ट, जिसे हम कहते हैं एग्जैक्ट। सो वेरी एक्यूरेट इज एग्जैक्ट। Then we have very oftenly. If you want to say I go to that place very often, na. Sorry, where is it? Very often, है ना. Then you can say कि I visit that place frequently. I visit that place frequently. ना. Frequently is very often. Next we have very smelly. बहुत बांस आ रहा है या फिर स्मेल आ रहा है ना. It's pungent. नेक्स्ट वी हैव वेरी स्मूथ, है ना, वेरी स्मूथ। यूजुअली हम किसी पर्सन को के वे ऑफ डूइंग थिंग्स को कहते हैं वेरी स्मूथ। इट्स स्लीक, सॉरी स्लिक, है ना, स्लिक। नेक्स्ट इज वेरी विलिंग। इफ अ पर्टिकुलर पर्सन इज वेरी विलिंग टू डू समथिंग, वेरी पैशनेट अबाउट समथिंग, वेरी विलिंग, इट्स ईगर, दैट ही कैन नॉट स्टॉप, है ना, ही इज वेरी ईगर टू डू that thing, you know. If you have a function tomorrow, then you are very eager to present, like to do that performance. Next we have very long term, है ना, because it's long term, it's enduring, you'll have to endure a lot, है ना. So it's long term, very long term, enduring, because it will take up a long time, so you have to endure a lot. Often our relationships, some people have this, long term relationships, so it's enduring. Next we have very nervous. If you're very nervous, often people, when they are about to present something, or they're on platform, they get very nervous. So we can say very nervous is apprehensive, apprehensive. Next is very strong. So you have a body, you're very strong. It's unyielding. To yield is to submit, to give up. Unyielding is like very strong. Okay. So where are we? वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग इज अनयील्डिंग. नेक्स्ट इज वेरी टेस्टी, तो डिलीशियस, है ना. ये तो कॉमन वर्ड है, आई डोंट थिंक कि ये आपको नहीं पता होगा, ये आपको डेफिनेटली पता होगा. वेरी टेस्टी, सो इट्स डिलीशियस. वेरी टायर्ड, इफ यू आर वेरी टायर्ड और यू आर एग्जॉस्टेड, है ना, you have done a lot, so you are very tired or you are very exhausted, you can say exhausted. Okay, next word is very valuable, so precious, she is very valuable to me, so precious. Next is very neat, so a person very neat, is like neat and tidy. It's like immaculate, sorry, immaculate. ये तो मेरे लिए भी नया वर्ड है, immaculate. I've heard some, like कभी ना कभी तो मैंने इसको सुना है, not sure where. Next is very risky, perilous, है ना. To perilous like to end, I think, जितना मुझे याद है ना. So very risky is perilous, sorry, perilous. Anyway, next is very afraid. ये आपको पता है, fearful, है ना, full of fear. So very afraid. Next is very creative, innovative. ये भी आप वर्ड आपको पता है, होना चाहिए एटलीस्ट. Very creative, so innovative, innovation जिसे हम कहते हैं. Innovation is like to make something, to create something. So very creative is innovative. Next is very evil, wicked. So you have heard stories about our, like, wicked witch, it always starts with when these witch stories in which we have a princess and then witch, we always say wicked witch, because she is very evil. Next we have very good, so excellent, the person is very good at maths, so you would say more like, he's excellent in, you won't say at, in, नेक्स्ट इज अ वेरी लाइट, सो लाइट इज लुमिनस, है ना. ये तो आपके पास बैटरी भी है, लुमिनस बैटरी, है ना. सो इट्स जो लाइट गिविंग है, सो वेरी लाइट, LIGHT. आई वुड से दिस इज मोर ऑफ अ बल्ब टाइप लाइट, है ना, जो रोशनी आ रही है, दैट इज लुमिनस, नॉट हल्का वाला. नेक्स्ट वी हैव वेरी नाइस, सो काइंड, वेरी नाइस, गुड, काइंड, है ना. Next we have very rich. A person is very rich, so wealthy, prosperous, you can actually say. Next is very roomy. So if you enter a room and it's very it's very roomy, in the sense that you have a lot of space, you can say it's spacious. Space means space, and then spacious. Next is very smart. If a person is very smart, intelligent. These are the here हमारा पहला group of words. Next group is very necessary. So if there is, you can say that this person is very necessary, like this person is a very important part of my life. So it's very necessary, then it's essential. You cannot do without this thing, or person. Next is very noisy. If like for example, loud speakers are there, and woofer are there, amplifiers are there, so it's very noisy. It's very, so it's deafening is like you will end up becoming deaf. So it's like the noise is so high, it's almost a deafening. So very noisy is deafening. Next we have very dry or parched, you can say. Very dry, it's parched. Very cold, freezing, freeze, it will freeze you. So very cold would be freezing. If you are feeling the it's almost what do we say, winter season, so it's freezing outside. Next we can say very clever. Okay, so brilliant, very clever. We won't say cunning. We won't say cunning, it's very clever, so brilliant. Next is very stupid, so idiotic. A person who is being an idiot, idiotic. Next is very thin, it's gaunt, very thin. Yeah, anyway, next word is very ugly, so hideous, like to hide oneself, like you have a face, or we should not say that, but let's imagine there's a person who has a very, like, we shouldn't say this, that a person is hideous, but you'll use it in some context. Maybe a person is very hideous inside, his inner soul is very hideous, he's a very like bad person. So you can say you're hideous, so you're very ugly, not from outside. No one is out like hideous from outside, it's like inside, okay, hideous. Next is very wicked. So we have this word wicked. Very evil is wicked, and then very wicked is villainous. You're almost a villain. So villainous, if you're doing things that a villain does, then you're villainous. So very wicked. Next we have very quiet, so silent. Then we have very accurate. We have this word exact. So दो बार आया है, very accurate. Next we have very clean, so it's spotless, there is not even, you cannot even find one spot, one little spot. It's spotless, shiny, very clean. If someone is very dear to you, so it's cherished, you cherish that person. It's like very important, very necessary, so it would be cherished, a person that is very near and dear to you. Next is very happy. Very happy is ecstatic, it's like it will give you a otherworldly experience, or otherworldly feeling, so ecstatic, very happy. Very large is huge. Very little is tiny is like little. Then we have very powerful, so compelling, again we use the word compel. It's like कि बहुत सारे लोग जो है are getting influenced by me, so it's compelling, very powerful. Next is very risky. What is this? Perilous. I guess ऐसे भी ये भी word हम लोगों ने पहले कर रखा है, या what is it? या perilous हमने पहले भी कर रखा है. So very risky, perilous. What is it? Okay. Next is very short, so brief, abstract, very short, brief. Very worried. If you're very worried, then you're like taking stress. So distressed, you're in stress. So very upset, very worried is distressed. Next is very upset. If you're very upset, then it's distraught. A bit different. Next is very glad. So if you're very glad, if you are very happy, kinda, so you are overjoyed. Very glad, overjoyed. Very cute, adorable. You see these little cats and child pics, they're like adorable, so very cute. Next is very colorful, so vibrant. Very, like, you can use this word, it's a good word to use. Very colorful is vibrant. And then last is very shy, timid. Timid is, I think timid we also use for tiny things, timid, but then very shy is also timid. Okay, we'll end the session here. Thank you. to join this session, that you have been a part of this. ये 10 मिनट हो गए, हाँ, so we'll end this. Thank you.